Hey, what's up to welcome to another edition of the Round Table Talk. I am your host, C Money, and this is part 1B of visiting Key Biscayne. We are still in Cape Billbags, Cape Florida State Park. If you've seen the episode previous to this, the 1A, part 1A, we talked about the lighthouse and also the lighthouse keeper's cottage, and also how Bill Baggs, Cape Florida, was a historical site for African Americans in the 1800s to flee to the Bahamas as a part of the Underground Railroad. All right, we're over here. Now the last and stuff. Now the last time I visited, there was a boat over here that they had over here, but I guess since the last time I was here, because I think the last time I was here, there was like several hurricanes and storms, and the boat housed here, but I guess they removed the boat. But we're going to talk about it. A small, sturdy sailing boat was essential for coastal and island residents in a time before roads and bridges, used for trips to nearby settlements to buy and sell supplies, to transport cargo and people to and from sailing ships anchored off the coast, and for fishing, sponging, and salvaging. The Bahama Digny was the pickup truck of its time. The Alien was named for Alien Hoffman, whose family and the villagers Inc. founded the restoration of this Bahama Digny, which was donated by Bill Monroe, grandson of Commodore Ralph Monroe, an early Miami pioneer. Now there was a boat that sat here, and it was I guess a replica. You can still see part of the lighthouse. We didn't get here in time enough to see the lighthouse, to go inside the lighthouse. But if you ever come down here, you can take a look at it. This where the boat was. I believe they moved the boat, maybe because of, the last time I visited was like the mid 2000s, like 2011, 2012, and probably because of a lot of the storms and hurricanes and stuff that it may have. I missed it. So now we're near the water. As I said before, if you can see way out there, it's called Fiery Rocks Lighthouse, which is a lighthouse that was one of the oldest lighthouses, and it was in use until Cape Florida Lighthouse was built. And I believe you can still use Fiery Rocks, and so that's why a lot of these things. We're going through another trail, so we're going to take a quick, brief break as we go through this trail, and we're going to come back. This is the Roundtable Talk, Bill Baggs, Cape Florida State Park. Watch. Hey, welcome back to the Roundtable Talk. We are Bill Baggs, Cape Florida State Park. This is part 1B. I'm walking the nature trail. There is two parts to this trail. There is the water area where you can walk and you can see through the water area. We're going to go over there because there are some things I want you to see that is interesting you can catch from out this way. Pretty much this is all of Bill Baggs. Like, we are basically done with Bill Baggs. Majority of this is the nature trails and stuff like that, because you've seen the lighthouse, you've seen the restaurant, the Lighthouse Cafe. There is another restaurant that we're going to be coming up to shortly, because the Lighthouse Cafe is for people who's coming by pedestrians or drivers. There's another restaurant that's housed over here that is accessible by boaters, and where you can go to. So we're gonna come and we're gonna walk this way. I'm gonna show you just the restrooms and stuff like that. So I'm gonna come over because, and of course, there's people that fish over here as well. You can fish. Now, what I want to show you is kind of different from what you see when you was at Oleta River. 'Cause in Oleta River, the surrounding areas, you mostly saw residential and commercial things. Here is pure water. Okay. If you look out into the sea, you see buildings out there. Those are houses that was back in the day, like houses out in the sea, and Honestly, I don't know if people actually still live in those houses. Those are like water houses, or I don't know what they call them, but those back in the days, and probably people still live out there. They're like a waters that's out in the sea, and if you can see them from there, and it was kind of interesting because they had that. There's a fishing pier right there, and of course it's closed, like the one that was at Olita River that was closed too. But those are where people actually live. Those are like water living quarters, if you can see that. Um, I think I'm gonna walk the beach way instead of walking the trailway, the nature trailway, because it's better to see water. There's somebody's swimming out there in the water. Oh, okay. This is not the beach area. The beach area is on the other side, but you would go see, and you would see the beach area if you do come. This is a nice area, a nice scenic route. I guess he's searching for stuff. Those are divers. A lot of these people come out here, and they come out here. The main reason why a lot of people come out here is before the water and the beach and the sun and stuff like that. Like, I'm out here because I'm doing a historical video, and as you see, there's a distant viewing. I'm gonna see Stillsfield. Stillsfield got its start in 1930s, where crawfish Eddie Walker set up a bait ship on Biscayne Bay. By the 1950s and 1960s, these stilt homes was a popular gathering place for fishermen, boaters, club goers, and well-known citizens such as former Governor of Florida Leroy Collins. These 7 houses are the last of 30 structures to survive following Hurricane Andrew in 1992. They are now part of Biscayne National Park. Jimmy L. Ellenberg House, a frame house, Baldwin Session House, Bay Chateau House, Hicks House, Miami Springs Power Cauldron, and Le Shaw House. Those are the houses that sit out there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 of them. And let me see if I can see further out to the houses. Oh wow, if you come and look through you can see, I see, which is called a frame house. I see that one. Now, I'm gonna look further away. Okay, the frame house is the first house. The second house, okay, hold on, let me get to it. I'm gonna show you. That's the frame house. The second house that would be maybe the Chateau house or the Hicks house, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. The next house has a long deck. Let me see which one has a long deck. I don't know which one has a long deck. And then the next one is, I don't know which that one is. We'll see. That might be the Hicks house or the LeShaw house. And then as you go out, that might be the Lake Schick house or the Hicks house or the LeShaw house. It says 7, but I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and most likely they are historical homes, as they said. And I don't know if people still live there, but as you saw what it says, those are places where people used to go at to have like parties and private parties, and also there used to be like a gathering place for people. As of course it's only accessible by boat, because as you can see, they're about a mile or 2 away from Key Biscayne. So I'm guessing from Key Biscayne or Cape Florida Park, you had to access it from here to there, or if there was another way, like on the other parts of Key Biscayne. But I think most of them probably access it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, there is 6. The other one is further out, but you really ain't gonna be able to see it unless you go. And I'm not trying to go back to see it. There's another fishing pier there. So there is 6. There may be 7, but the 7th one probably is further out. The dean did say it was like 30 of them. So, and there's 7 that are still remaining because, you know, a lot of them got damaged by Hurricane Andrew. So, of course, they're not going to preserve them. They're just probably going to preserve a few of them. Now, I can tell you this. You probably can rent out one of these places, but it's going to cost you a pretty penny because I'm quite sure there are people that come there on a regular basis and make sure they keep the upkeeps of it, like the cleanliness and everything, because these are historical buildings that sits off the coast of Florida. So I'm quite sure there where you can actually, you know, probably rent and go have parties and stuff there. Like you can have a boat ride and then the after party can be there, but you know, it's going to cost you a lot of money because number one, you will have to pay for a staff to be boat. You'll have to pay for a staff to come out there before your party gets there to set up everything, and probably, you know, you have to pay for the rental for the space to be rented out. Then you have to pay for people to come there and set it up and everything. And you know, who knows if it has a kitchen or anything in it, or you know, how old everything is in there. So you know, it may not have been used for years. It may just be a historical site. I don't know if you can actually take a tour there, but it would be nice to have a tour to go there. But you know, so we're on another trail. We're going to take another quick break, a pause, and we're going to come back. This is the Roundtable Talk, Bill Baggs, Cape, Florida. Okay, welcome back to the Roundtable Talk. We're still at Bill Baggs, Cape, Florida State Park. Now, I'm still on the nature trail. I'm back and forth, because basically in part 1, you basically saw mostly everything. You saw the Cape Florida Lighthouse, the Lighthouse Cafe, and everything that you needed to see about Cape Florida to make it historical. Like I said, 70 to 80% of Bill Baggs Cape Florida State Park is basically woods and nature trail. 100% of the park is surrounded by water. But you're basically going to be doing nature trails throughout the whole park because basically that's what the park is based off of. Like every now and then I went out that way to the walk area of the water, and that's another fishing pier. All the fishing piers, I guess, are closed. And we did see the 6 little stilt houses that set out. You probably couldn't see it, but I saw them close up through the video where, you know, like I said before we went on our pause, that the thing said those were a lot of gathering places for a lot of famous people, because it's like a mini house island. It's not an island, but it's like a house island, like a house that sits on above water. And like I said, you probably could rent them out. I don't know how you can do it, but you probably could rent them out. It's just gonna cost you a lot of money. Like you have to have like Jay-Z or Oprah Winfrey money to try to rent something out like that, because that would be cool to have a party that's only accessible by boat, and then it's invite only and everything, everybody come and stuff like that. But you know, that would cost you a lot of money, because like I said, you will have to hire people to come there prior to your event to set it up, and then whatever boat service you hire, they have to be back and forth to pick up people, you know. And they got to be like, you can't be just one person. You got to be like, if one person here, they got to wait for the next person to come and all that. So basically, it's basically like that. I'm going to walk over here to the waterway. We're going to do another pause break through this, because apparently, like I said, 70 to 80% of Cape Florida is basically trails. So we're going to do another pause break. We're going to come back. This is the Roundtable Talk, Bill Baggs, Cape Florida State Park. And I'll see you after this pause. Hey, welcome back to the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, Money, and we are at Bill Baggs, Cape Florida State Park. This is part 1B. Right here, if I'm not mistaken, is good grief. You actually I'm kind of thinking I thought this was it, but it might be something else. There was supposed to be another restaurant that is housed for the dockers, like the boaters. I don't know if it's over here or on the other side, but we're gonna go around and we're gonna see. Now, I'm gonna tell you this. Between Cape Florida and Oleta River, Cape Florida has the longest trail out here, because you do realize this trail is longer than most of the trails. Okay. Right over here, because we're gonna go there in about a second. This is, I think, a bar. I've never been to this side. This is interesting. I've never been over here to this bar. But right over here is where the restaurant is that is accessible by boaters. Like if you're a boater and you want to come eat, you can dock your boat over here and you can go to the restaurant. That's not the same restaurant that's not the Lighthouse Cafe. So we're gonna go. This is called the Cleat. I guess that's the name. This is basically like a bar. No outside food and beverages permitted. So I don't know if you can buy food there, but there's no outside food and beverages. So, and as you can see by my voice, I am kind of tired because, as you know, I do walk fast, and to get through these, because remember, Cape Florida Park, their nature trails are longer than are longer than the Oleta River, because as you know, this is surrounded by water, and this is mostly like wood, like trees and woods and nature, and so a lot of this is surrounded by water. So you're going to get a different aspect of this than you would Oleta River. Even though both of these are historical. I'm going to take a brief break, because we're coming up to the restaurant, but we're going to take a brief break and then we're going to come back. Roundtable Talk. Hey, welcome back to the Roundtable Talk. And we are now close to this area. This is, I guess, the concessions truck where you can get a drink. Oh, they sell beer and beverages and stuff like that. And also over here, we're gonna go over there. I have restrooms over here, but I don't need the restroom right now. We're gonna see. Basically, we're halfway back to the beginning of the park, because basically, remember at the beginning in part 1A, when I went one direction and the walking part was in another direction, but I took the walking. Basically, the walking part of the trail takes you over to this part, and because it's like a circle, the nature trail here is like a circle. This is an old boat. I don't know what the boat is. This might be where I bought my drink from the last time I was here. It might not be. I'm not for sure. The name of the restaurant is called Boaters, because it is basically for people who, it's called Boaters Grill. This is not just for people who come here by car, but this is also for people who have a boat and they want to access and come eat here by boat. Now, when is it open? I'm quite sure it's open within the park hours, because I'm quite sure, when the sun goes down, the restaurant has to close. But boaters do come out here for to eat and drink. So that's the other one. I didn't know about the bar that we saw earlier. That was a new one. But I knew about Boaters Grill, which is the area where it's accessible by boaters. It's also accessible by pedestrians and people with cars. Now we're going to take this is fishing prohibited, so this might be another trail. But with this, I am not going to be going that way, because I don't remember if it's here or if it's at Oleta River, but I remember there was a bike trail here. So that might be the bike trail, but I'm not going to take it. So we're going to take a brief We're pause because we're going to another nature trail. From here, you can't see the lighthouse because a lot of the trees and stuff. But we're gonna take another break and we're gonna come back. This is the Round Table Talk, Bill Baggs, Cape Florida State Park. Hey, welcome back to the Round Table Talk. I'm your host, C Money. And, where am I located? Oh, if you remembered when I came this way and I told you there was a way in and out, that way is towards the entrance. So basically, like I told you, this is the beginning of the nature trail that goes around, and if you continue, it'll take you to the back part near the lighthouse. But I took the roadway, and because this is the street to see, that's the entrance right there. This will take you to No Name Harbor Boaters Grill that way. If you walk this way, it takes you further down to where the beach and the house in the lighthouse is at. And over here, you see there, this is the paddleboard rentals. I didn't know they had paddleboards, you know. So hey, we're gonna go over here and see. Like I told you, this has one of the largest trails. If you compare it to Oleta River State Park, this trail is longer than Oleta River because, as you can see, I'm about burnt out from here. And this is only part 1. And this is part 1B. We still have part 2, which is Crandon Park, and we still have part 3, which is Virginia Key Beach. Now, granted, hopefully we can get to both of the parks today. If not, we'll continue this on another day. But right now we're gonna go over here, and I'm gonna try to give you some water. My water is kind of warm, so I'm gonna try to drink off this water and go to like another water area. These are the rental where you can rent these out, like they have at Oleta River as well. The playground, I did see the playground somewhere. Oh yeah, the playground is over there. I see this haven't been rented time in a while. I have to give me a minute. I just went through a spider web and I have to tie my shoe. So give me 1 minute. I have to tie my shoe. We're almost at the end of our show. So basically, we're at the end of Bill Baggs, Cape Florida. I'm just showing you something else. Apparently, this hasn't been rented out for a while because I ran through a spider web. Okay. And so this is, now I'm going to show you this area because I remember this area. This area is a beach area, but it's not really accessible by the beach, meaning you really can't come out here, because if you see this area of Bill Bag, you'll be like, whoa. Because I remember when I came out here years ago, you know, this is like my second time here. Of course, this is a playground, not really an update version of the playground. There's like a wooden playground, so you can imagine the hazardous things that probably go there because they probably don't update the playground. Beach access too. No lifeguard on duty, swim at own risk, no alcoholic beverages, fiberglass containers, pets and vehicles prohibited on beach and dunes. Now, when I last visited here, this part of the beach actually had a lot of grassy areas where you couldn't really access it. So I'm going to see if this is the same one or is it further down, because I remember like accessing here, it was like grass on grass on grass on grass on grass where you couldn't really access the beach area. You just can come out and see it. I don't know if it's the same, but a lot of people access the beach on the other side near the lighthouse anyway. Oh, you can't access the beach here. Oh, that was I guess a butterfly. whatever. Oh, so you can access the beach here because at one point there wasn't, well, maybe further down. Like, see, it was more like this where you couldn't access the beach, and like this where you couldn't access the beach at one part. So, you know, there was like no access to a certain part. This is the other side. So this is basically it. We're gonna go back because we're towards the ending of our episode, and so I just wanted to give you an overall view of this area. Like, it wasn't accessible back then. I guess they made it more accessible because a lot of people don't really come on this side. They mostly go on the back end because, number one, the cafe is on the back end. So if you want to purchase a drink or something, you can go to the cafe and purchase a drink. And it was closest to the lighthouse where a lot of people like to take tours. You know, unlike Olita River, this has multiple beach areas. Olita River, because this is surrounded mainly by water. Olita River is surrounded by commercial and residential. As you can see, there's critters inside of the trees and stuff. Probably the lizards and iguanas and stuff that are inside. So we're gonna go back. So basically, this is it. This is basically Bill Baggs, Cape Florida State Park. If you come here, there are several things you must be prepared. Make sure, for one thing I didn't do, my water was cold, but it wasn't ice cold. Make sure you have some cold water or drinks among you. I would prefer water, number one. Number two, make sure you have on some walking shoes. I have on sneakers. Make sure you have on light clothes. When I've been doing these episodes, I've always wore all white, so I have on all white. Make sure you have on light clothes because it does get hot unless you are out here in the winter time, or you're out here in the time where it's not as hot, but it is scorching out here. So make sure you have on some light clothes, number two. Number three, if can, wear some protective sunwear, because it is hot, to keep yourself from sweating, and if you are not prone to walking, make sure you get ready to get some rental bikes or something, because if you don't like to walk the nature trails, drive your car wherever you need to go and go from there, because the nature trails are here and they're not like Olita River. So you will be harassed by nature trails. I want to see if this water fountain is doing cold water. Let's see if the water's cold. Give me a minute. Oh, it's not cold. Okay. Right now, we're going to end this episode. I thank you for watching this. This is the Roundtable Talk. This is Hotspots in South Florida, visiting Key Biscayne, Part 1B. We are at Bill Baggs, Cape Florida State Park. Stay tuned, because in a little bit we will be visiting Crandon Park, which is another historical park in Key Biscayne. I'm about to head out of the park because we are now basically at the beginning of where the park is at. I might have to go through another nature trail to get to the front. Let me see, because I think there's a trail over here, or there's an entrance. I don't know. There's somebody having a kids party over here. So I'm going to say, see you in a little bit. If you didn't catch out part 1A, check out part 1A. And I will see you in a little bit for part 2 at Crandon Park. And Crandon Park is kind of special to me, but we'll talk about that when we get there. This is the Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money, and I will see you in a little bit. Take care. Are you gonna go by? I guess I'm gonna go by. I guess they're waiting on me. Let me go. Oh, this is for kayaking. I thought it was paddle boats, but it's paddle boards. So I don't know, but Roundtable Talk. I'm your host, C Money. I need to find a way out of here because I don't know my way out of here. This is another parking area. So I gotta go further this way to go up and go out. Okay. Well, all right. I will see you in a little bit. And when I see you again, we'll be at Cranton Park. This is the Round Table Talk. I'm C Money. Don't forget, I forgot to say, don't forget to click and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like or comment at this bottom of this video. If you have any questions or comments, you can comment at the bottom of this video. You can also email us roundtable00@yahoo.com. Don't forget to check out our other previous videos in history, South Florida. Don't forget to check out our other hotspots in South Florida, where we visited some of the hotspots in South Florida. And this is history, South Florida. I am the Round Table Talk. Stay blessed, stay safe. It is hot as hell out here. I got another bottle of water that's in my bag, and I put it in a Ziploc bag. Hopefully, it's not as hot as this one, but you know, I'll see you in a little bit. Round Table Talk. I'm out.